your Denver Nuggets season opener, banner night, ring night is finally here. We're going to talk about what that moment's going to be like when the Denver Nuggets take the floor and the banners drop right here on Locked On Nuggets.
You are Locked On Nuggets, your daily Denver Nuggets podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What's going on, y'all? Welcome to Locked On Nuggets. I'm your host, Swiper, and I'm so glad to be here with you today. Locked On Nuggets is your place to be for your team every day. And I can't wait. I've been waiting. I'm excited. I'm ready to roll. The Denver Nuggets opening night is here. The NBA is back. Now, you have been waiting all summer. You've been waiting all summer with all the basketball talk, all the trades, all the information, all the stuff that's been going down. You have been waiting for this moment. Ever since the Denver Nuggets won the NBA championship in June, you waited for this moment to get the ring. The city, 47 years it took to get the first championship. And then here we go. Can't wait. Love it. I'm excited to go ahead and get started. The Denver Nuggets banner night is here. So, as y'all know, there's been conversations that have been going on between the Nuggets and the Lakers for months. You had some of the dialogue that was happening during the playoffs where you had Michael Malone talking about take that down with you to LA, down 2-0. You had Darvin Ham saying we got something for him. You had the Rui Hachimura adjustment. You had the national media after game one when the Nuggets won game one. All they're talking about is the adjustment that the Lakers made and where to go from here. So there's a lot of question and a lot of comments surrounding what might happen. And let me tell you this. Somebody from Denver, Colorado, somebody who grew up in Park Hill, Colorado, this is an important moment. This is an important night. I know a lot of you have been waiting on this moment. If you are a fan of the Nuggets from Serbia, from South America, or anywhere in the United States, or wherever you might be around the world, this is something that you've been looking forward to for a number of years. And so today is the day. You have an opportunity to take it in and to enjoy it. Now, you see, one of the great things about what's about to take place today is the Denver Nuggets are going to get their ring, get their banner in front of a longtime rival in the Los Angeles Lakers, a team they had never before beaten in the playoff, let alone the Western Conference. So after sweeping them, they went through an entire summer of revamping their roster. They got Gabe Vincent. They got Taurean Prince. Got Jackson Hayes. They re-signed Austin Reeves. They re-signed Rui Hachimura. Anthony Davis made a commitment to come back, be ready for the upcoming season. LeBron James coming back for year 21. How is he going to be even better this season? One of the two best players of all time. They have the starting lineup. D'Angelo Russell gets re-signed as well. So you got D'Lo, you got Austin Reeves, Jared Vanderbilt, LeBron James, Anthony Davis. Now off the bench, Gabe Vincent, Taurean Prince, Rui Hachimura, Max Christie, Jackson Hayes, and then they get Christian Wood. So the Lakers, they're locked and loaded. They're locked and loaded, and they're ready for this moment because for them, they have talked about this game since the game ended. They want this game. They want an opportunity to prove themselves and to get ready for a championship run themselves. And so here the Denver Nuggets are. They want to come out and they want to play Denver Nuggets style basketball. Now, if you watch the preseason, you saw a really aggressive Nikola Jokic taking more shots in the preseason basis than we had ever seen. You saw Jamal Murray being a master playmaker. We haven't even yet seen Michael Porter Jr., who is good to go. They said that he's going to be in the starting lineup. Christian Brown, good to go. He's going to be ready to play. So the Denver Nuggets are ready to go. They got everything locked in. And I am really excited for this because I think that the Nuggets have been not stewing in a negative way, but stewing on this is what we wanted to accomplish, but we're not done with what we want to accomplish. We got more in our system. We got more in our tank. We got more to give, and we got more time. We got more time to get it done together. So what I love about everything that's about to happen is we're about to see the culmination of years worth of work and years work of preparation, but you get to do it with the team that you built in the draft. You get to do it with a team that bought into an identity and into a system and into a culture. And you get to do it versus LeBron James and the Los Angeles Lakers with their revamped roster. So I think that this is going to be a lot of different kind of storyline going into it. And I think from a basketball standpoint, y'all, this should be a game that really stands out to you. And so what I did was I went to cleaning the glass. And basically, I wanted to look at what did the lineup variation look like for the Lakers last year? Because as we're getting ready to talk about the upcoming matchup between the Lakers and between the Nuggets, what's some information to help us get an idea of how good they might end up being? So if you look at cleaning the glass and you go to the playoff last year for the Los Angeles Lakers, their most used lineup was D'Angelo Russell, Austin Reeves, Jared Vanderbilt, Anthony Davis, and LeBron James. Now, this is the same lineup that they're more than likely going to be starting with this upcoming season. And this lineup in the playoff setting, again, is slanted a little bit by the Denver Nuggets series, but they had a 110 defensive rating that they had because they had a 108 offensive rating. But again, a lot of that had to do with the fact that the Nuggets were just blitzing them in the Western Conference Finals, but they were actually playing very good for the most part. And if you look at the way they were able to play together over the course of the regular season, when they ran this lineup together, they were actually a dominant defensive team. And even in the playoff, when you look at this lineup together, they had on NBA.com, in the 13 games they played, they had a 107 defensive rating. So again, 107 points per possession is what they were allowing. And then if you just look simply at the two-man pairing between Anthony Davis and LeBron James, they actually are one of the better defensive pairings in the NBA. LeBron James and Anthony Davis, when they were on the court together, they had a 110 defensive rating in the playoff, because when you have that kind of size and versatility, the way that they are able to lean in together and the way they're able to play a switching style defense and a drop style defense with Anthony Davis, they put so much pressure on you to have to perform up to the level. And so when they're coming out tomorrow, I think one of the things that is going to be displayed most through the intensity of the night and through the emotions of the night is how hard the Lakers are going to be playing. Austin Reeves, Anthony Davis, they've all have said it. They've all talked about it, that when they step on the floor, they want to make sure that they're setting a message that what happened last year is not going to happen again. But even more importantly, that they have bigger fish that they want to fry this year, that they have a championship of their own that they want to win. So when we're going to get to this later in terms of who is going to win the matchup and everything else, but y'all, everything in me feels like this is going to be a knockdown, drag-out fight. Now, at some point, somebody will pull away, but especially with all of the narratives and the things that have been talked about with this game, Nuggets get their ring night. The banner is going to drop. Everybody's going to be gathered around these shiny rings, and everybody's going to be talking about the highlights that are going to be showed, that are going to include some of these Nikola Jokic shots over Anthony Davis, Jamal Murray shots over LeBron James, Michael Porter Jr. corner shots. There's going to be so many things that are talked about that I think that the Lakers, if they already weren't amped up enough, I think that's going to lend itself to them wanting to give even more that night and to prove more that night. And I think if you put all this together as well, the Lakers, I've already said this, I put out on Twitter who my top teams in the Western Conference are going to be. I think the Lakers are going to be a top 3 team in the regular season. I think that a team that is coming off of a sweep with the amount of players they have on the roster that are playoff level players, that are viable NBA players, there's something that they want to give and want to show to the world that night and to themselves that what happened last year was over and that they're trying to move on to something else. So I've been listening to a lot of Lakers fans, especially on Twitter, and if you ask them, a lot of them feel very confident about this season and confident about this upcoming matchup. But some of this is that if you listen to people that are talking about this team, they just feel that there's a different level of commitment that's required of them because of how they got embarrassed in getting swept. And Anthony Davis is getting outplayed. And LeBron James, obviously, with the foot injuries, not being able to have other players outside of Austin Reeves and maybe Rui and Anthony Davis for him to lean into. So I think this night is going to be action-packed. I think the Nuggets night is going to be action-packed. And I think that there's going to be a level of intensity that mimics a playoff game. that's going to come. So, y'all, I honestly can't wait. I think that this is going to be the first game since the Nuggets won the championship that they're going to be playing. So I think they're going to be a little bit of sloppiness because of how emotional the night is. And it's not even something that, like, I think you're necessarily controlling, but it's just something that's happening spontaneously because of how big of a deal this game is to the Lakers. But obviously, I think even just for the Nuggets, this is the first time that you played basketball, meaningful basketball, since the NBA championship. So it's going to be really fun, y'all. But guess what? Segment 2, we're going to talk about how will the Nuggets and Lakers defend each other. What are some of the action that we can dive into to talk about some of the basketball the little minutiae and the nuances of how each team might approach the games, and especially with the Lakers with this new lineup, what it's going to look like for them to deploy their offense as well. So we'll be right back for segment 2 here on Locked On Nuggets. Y'all, so again, I don't know if y'all have been tapping in to FanDuel or not, but y'all, I'm trying to tell y'all, the NBA is about to start back up. You can lock in and you can start putting some of these bets out, some of these player props and everything. The NFL right now, Monday Night Football is happening last night. Obviously, today is a Tuesday show. You can tap into a bet there. Look, you can snap into action this NFL season with FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Right now, new customers get $200 in bonus bets guaranteed when you place a $5 bet. That's $200 in bonus bets, win or lose. If you've been thinking about joining FanDuel, there's no better time to get in on the action. The app is so easy to use, and there's a wide range of betting options, including spreads, player props, over, under, and more. So visit FanDuel.com/lockedon and kick off the NFL season. So we're back here with Locked On Nuggets. This is your boy Swiper, and this is the day. Tonight is ring night. Today is ring night, and this is the opportunity to see the 2023-24 Denver Nuggets for the first time versus the 2023-24 Los Angeles Lakers. So as we're getting ready for this matchup, what are some of the ways that each team is going to be defended in this matchup? How are the teams going to play? What are the play styles going to be like? What are teams going to be invested in? How will the Nuggets, how will the Lakers lock in their rotation? So let's start here with the Nuggets. So again, great tool. I don't know if you all have used it before, but it's a great tool to use. If you have access to cleaning the glass, you can get a lot of information shared with you about what makes certain teams more viable, what makes them so good, and what separates them on a basketball court. So if you go to cleaning the glass, last year in the NBA playoffs, the Denver Nuggets 5-man unit of Jamal Murray, Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, Michael Porter Jr., Aaron Gordon, and Nikola Jokic played 754 possessions together. 754 possessions together. That unit had a plus 10 net rating per cleaning the glass, with a 121 offensive rating, and they had a 111 defensive rating per cleaning the glass, and they had a 121 offensive rating, which is by far would have been the best in the NBA, best in NBA history. And then when they substituted, and they had Christian Brown and Bruce Brown with the starter, that unit had a 122.8 offensive rating and a plus 9.9 differential. Now, one of the sad things is why many people have noted this, is that when Bruce Brown was substituted in for Michael Porter Jr., they would have a 124 offensive rating. 124 offensive rating and a 104 defensive rating with Bruce Brown on the court. And again, a lot of this has to do with the fact that Bruce Brown was such a good cutter for the Denver Nuggets. And even his spot-up shooting would be good at times, but his ability to work off ball, to work as a cutter, and even work in the pick and roll and getting downhill and creating opportunities for himself and his teammates, it really separated them. But I think the thing is that the Nuggets deploying their starting lineup this year, the Lakers are very good at playing the drop coverage. Now, the Lakers don't necessarily love switching, but they will if they have to. And I think that this upcoming game tonight, I do think that the Lakers are going to be playing a very physical brand of basketball to try to disrupt the Denver Nuggets on some of the DHO action. So if you're not familiar with the DHO, dribble handoff. So when Jokic is at that top of the key, or he's at the free throw line at the nail, there's always these actions that are happening. Now, one of the most famous ones that they do is just little action with KCP, where KCP will come off of the DHO. And because the defense is so worried about being disconnected from Nikola Jokic, they try to stay with him. And so that action and that pick freezes the defense. And then KCP will walk into basically a wide open mid-range shot that he's actually hit at a pretty high level. And so another person they'd like to run DHOs with is Michael Porter Jr., because Michael Porter Jr. also excels when it comes to DHOs. But a lot of this comes to that mid-range area with them. So some of the DHOs, I do think that the Lakers are going to try to be really physical to be disruptive. So whether it's going to be D'Angelo Russell or Jared Vanderbilt or Austin Reeves or Gabe Vincent or Max Christie, whoever they have at that kind of the backcourt spot, they're going to really try to get over on these screens. That way, KCP, Jamal Murray, or Michael Porter Jr., they don't get really, really good looks at the basket, because what happens is if they go underneath those screens, then you give an opportunity to have a really wide open shot, especially for the three-point shooters in KCP and Jamal Murray. But then on the other end, the Nuggets run a lot of off-ball action. So, you'll hear stuff about Iverson cuts, which is basically the cut that's across the nail. You're going to hear a lot of back screens that you get. So, for instance, if you watch the preseason, Julian Strawther would be in a position to get ready to set a screen, like a flare screen for one of the Denver Nuggets players off of the wing. And instead of running that flare screen, he would just simply do a action to get into a pick, and then he would roll to the rim. And so basically it's like a little pick, and then you just you slash to the rim, and therefore you get a wide open layup in some instances. So I do think that the Lakers are going to try to play a very physical style, because they're going to want to try to disrupt a lot of that off-ball action. Now, again, because it's game one, the communication will be sloppy, but the Nuggets are going to have a lot of opportunity, and especially if they get Aaron Gordon to get on some of these mismatches tonight. So Aaron Gordon, more than likely, they're going to start off with LeBron James on him, but Anthony Davis is playing on Joker, unless they want to switch that action, but I doubt that they'll do that in a regular season. At least I don't think they will, but they always could. Anthony Davis could switch off of Joker, and they could put Jackson Hayes or Christian Wood or LeBron James on the Joker. But I do think that when they have an opportunity to, that if LeBron James is playing off of AG, they're going to try to run against some of these back screens and see if they can get some switching. Or they can bring Aaron Gordon up as a screener for Jamal Murray. And if they decide that, hey, we're not going to try to scramble and we don't want to trap, because we're going to have Jokic at the nail or Jokic at the down by the basket in a dunker spot or off somewhere else. We want to get Aaron Gordon. You want to bring up the screen as high as possible. And in that screen, you want to see if you can get a switch. So that way, Austin Reeves or D'Angelo Russell, you have now switched them on Aaron Gordon. Now Aaron Gordon can float down to that post area. You drop the ball off the Jokic. Jokic then gets in position at the high key. And then Aaron Gordon can be down in the dunker spot or off of the post. And then you can see you can get a free two or get a foul. So I do think that the Nuggets are going to try to take advantage of how aggressive they're playing by getting some of these switches onto some of these smaller players on the AG or Michael Porter Jr. But I'm really excited to see that. Now, on the other end, the Nuggets, I obviously think that Aaron Gordon's going to start off on LeBron James. I think KCP is going to start off maybe on Austin Reeves or D'Angelo Russell. Really just depends. They are both good players, but there's neither one of those players that you're trying to get Jamal Murray off of in particular. But I think, again, having Jamal Murray and KCP versus D'Angelo Russell and Austin Reeves, that requires them to be disciplined in their pick and roll coverage, especially for Austin. Austin is a very good pick and roll navigator. If you remember in the playoffs last year, there was a lot of hoopla that was being said about Austin Reeves because of his ability to bait fouls when he got into that. If you were too close or if he rolled his body a little bit too hard or too close at the screen as you were trying to get over the top of it, he'll just do one of those little pump fakes, or he literally will jump into you for coming off a little bit too aggressive. So you got to be worried about that and make sure you're being disciplined with your movement, with your eyes, and with your hands. I think, again, D'Angelo Russell is also similar. So if they're going to try to snake through the lane and try to work a snake action around Anthony Davis, they're going to try to get some of those mid-range shots off, or even if they can get and create some space, get some three-pointers off. So Gabe Vincent, D'Angelo Russell, Austin Reeves, I think that's a decent guard rotation for the LA Lakers. And so I think, again, KCP, Jamal Murray, even obviously Micro AG, Christian Brown, Peyton Watson, these players are going to have to be really locked in to make sure they're being disciplined and to make sure that the communication is high. Now, because it's game one it's bound to not be there at times. But again, it's really helpful if the Nuggets are able to lock in communicatively, and that way they can mitigate some of these mistakes. So it's going to be really interesting to see the two teams guard each other. But you know what? We're going to talk about segment 3. Who will win the season opener today and why? Lakers, Nuggets. Man, telling y'all, it's going to be exciting, y'all. We'll be right back here on Locked On Nuggets. So now I am a concert goer. I love going to concerts. I love going to venues. I love seeing people live. I love the feeling that it gets when you get to see one of your favorite artists or favorite comedians in person. Because the experience, there's nothing like it. Being around a bunch of other people and getting ready to sing music or laugh or to see just even your favorite performances, like going to if you like opera or if you like anything like that, it's really good to go to those events. But the thing is, you shouldn't have to worry when you're buying tickets to your next big event. GameTime is the fast and easy way to buy tickets for all of the sports, music, comedy, and theater events near you. With killer last-minute deals, all-in prices, views from your seat, and their best price guarantee, GameTime takes the guesswork out of buying tickets. Now, as y'all know, I'm in Atlanta. What y'all might not know is I'm a huge Bill Burr fan. So right now, for November, I'm looking at tickets for Bill Burr here in Atlanta. And they have pictures that you can see where your seat would be. They have a best price guarantee, and it shows you by price range where you would like to sit, and it shows you the amount of tickets that it would take for certain costs. And so it is great. We are almost in November. You can get last minute tickets, flash deals, zone deals, and easy to find and buy tickets for every kind of event in your area. You can have views from all seats in the venue, lowest price guarantee, event cancellation protection, job loss protection, all of that. Now, GameTime is the only ticketing app that gives you complete peace of mind with your purchase. You can see the view from your seat before you buy, so you know exactly what you can get into, what to expect before you arrive. All in prices for your total upfront, so you know you're getting a great deal with no hidden fees. Buy tickets in second with just 2 taps. Now, GameTime is also obsessed with finding ways to help you save money on tickets. It has deals on tickets right up to the start of the event and even an hour before it starts. It's a place to find last-minute seats. You can find exclusive flash deals or sponsored deals on tickets, football, for basketball, baseball, concert, comedy, theater, and more. With zone deals, you can do your pick for the section, and GameTime picks the seats for an average of 18% saving. And the GameTime guarantee means that you always get the best price. If you find tickets in the same section or row for less, GameTime will credit you with 110% of the difference. So take the guesswork out of buying tickets with GameTime. Download the GameTime app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONNBA for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code LOCKEDONNBA, LOCKEDONNBA for $20 off. Download GameTime today. Last minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed. And y'all, we are back. Locked On Nuggets. Man, with your boy Swiper. Game night, banner night. Let's get it. We're waiting for this all month. So let's get into the nitty-gritty, y'all. Who wins this matchup? Who wins the matchup tonight between the Denver Nuggets and between the Los Angeles Lakers? So this is tough. I've been thinking about this a lot. The Nuggets have the best player in the world. Jamal Murray has proven that he's one of the 20 best players in the NBA. Jamal Murray, as high as 16 on some outlets. Michael Porter Jr., going to be back. Aaron Gordon, locked in, ready to go. Had one of his best preseason with the Denver Nuggets. Then you're going to have KCP, who's looked really good this preseason. Christian Brown will be there. Julian Strawther, Reggie Jackson, Peyton Watson, Zeke Naji. And then on top of that, Justin Holiday. And then if need be, Hunter Tyson, Michael Malone. Is this the coach of the year for him this year? Who knows? So I've been evaluating their roster, evaluating how great the starters are going to play. And you know what? Teams usually struggle. Teams usually struggle on banner night because of how emotional it is. And so it would make a lot of sense for people, and even for me, to pick against the Nuggets. Because for one, the Lakers, again, have real motivation to win this game. They believe that they will win this game. They believe they must set the tone for the season against a team that swept them. And then the Nuggets, on the other end, they don't have anything to lose. Like, again, banner night for them. They won a championship. They swept the Lakers. They know they got the best player in the world. They know they got the best five-man unit in basketball. And they know that they can reach a peak that nobody else in the NBA can reach. So what do they have to prove? But that's the thing. But then I got to thinking. You watched them in the preseason. I watched them in the preseason. I saw how motivated they were. I saw how timely they were. They're locked in offensively. Jamal Murray is playmaking at a really nice level. Michael Porter Jr. and Christian Brown were there. Nikola Jokic was aggressive, averaging 6 threes a game in the preseason. I think Joker is going to take some threes tonight. I think that Joker is going to be pretty aggressive as a shot maker today. I think that Jamal Murray is locked in and he's ready to go because the season is starting. This is a year for him to be able to make an all-NBA team and get a max contract being a $300 million man. Michael Porter Jr. is healthy, coming off of that ankle injury. And then on top of that, you know, he had a really great run in the playoffs last year. His confidence is probably boosted. And then Aaron Gordon, he knows he's one of the best two-way players in the NBA. There's so many things that when I was looking at this, the Lakers got a lot to prove. The Lakers are one of the best teams in basketball. The Lakers got LeBron James and Anthony Davis. They added Gabe Vincent. They added Jackson Hayes. They added Taurean Prince. That's interesting. And they added Christian Wood. But I think the Nuggets, because this is their first championship, because this is their first banner night, because the Nuggets have something to prove to themselves, meaning they want to continue to win championships. They have a mission. They have a plan. They also have heard the smoke and the noise. They know what the betting odds say. They know what people are saying about this game. They know what people said about the Lakers coming into the series. Surprising enough, a few hours ago, I thought that the Lakers were going to win this game. But now sitting with you today, with the game just hours away, I think the Denver Nuggets win it tonight. I think the Denver Nuggets win. I think the Denver Nuggets win, I'm going to say 117 to 110. 117 to 110. I think that there's going to be a lot of scoring. Matter of fact, I'm going to take into account the fact that people will be rusty. I'm going to say 115 to 108. 115 to 108 is my final score prediction. I do think that there's going to be a little bit of rest. I think it's going to be a little bit of a higher turnover rate for a couple of players today. And especially, I don't know how well Michael Porter Jr. will shoot to start the game because he hasn't played in the preseason. But I think mixed with the energy, mixed with the banner night, and then mixed with the fact that there just seems to be a different kind of strut. Not an arrogant strut, but a strut that says, we believe we're the best. We know we're the best. And as I showed you through cleaning the glass and some of the numbers, they're just in a different tier and they're just in a different category than where they have been previously. And again, I just want to give people a reminder that the Denver Nuggets last year in the playoffs, the Jokic-Murray two-man game had a per NBA.com, 121.1 offensive rating and a 107.9 defensive rating in the NBA playoffs in 660 minutes played. That's a plus 13.2 net rating. Plus 13.2. That two-man game proved it was the best in the world. It proved that it could D up when it mattered the most. And then offensively, they reached a height that basically no one else could reach. Now, the net rating between Aaron Gordon and Nikola Jokic is higher. It's a 121.7 offensive rating and a 107.7 defensive rating. But again, that's just because, like, the two of them together, they're just so good. And with Porter, so let's even just look at, like, the four-man lineup. So when they had Jamal Murray, Nikola Jokic, Michael Porter Jr., and Aaron Gordon, 121.3 offensive rating and a 108 defensive rating for a plus 13.3 net rating with the core four all together. And then the starters all together, including KCP, again, in 376 minutes played, they had a 119.2 offensive rating and a 109.8 defensive rating for a plus 9.4. So what I'm getting at is that the Nuggets, at their very best, When they are locked in, they've shown they can reach a place that can't nobody reach. And I think that kind of confidence, that kind of culture and tenacity is almost built into their DNA now. Now, that doesn't mean that they're going to reach NBA championship level at all over the course of the regular season, but you will see it in moments. So you're not going to see it for long spurts, but you're going to see it in moments. You're going to see it in quarters. And I think you're going to get one of those quarters tonight when the Denver Nuggets beat the Los Angeles Lakers 115-1 away. But y'all, let me know what y'all think in the comment section. How do you think the teams will defend each other? How do you think Banner Night is going to impact both teams? And who do you think is going to win tonight's matchup between the Nuggets and the Lakers? Y'all, Banner Night, you've been waiting 3 months for it. It's finally here. The NBA season is back, and I can't wait to get started. This is your host, Swiper. This is Locked On Nuggets. Hey, I will see y'all on the other side.